What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for another episode of Player Ratings as we were up in Anfield yesterday, 1-1 draw in a pulsating game. You got to say that was absolutely mental game of football. Spurs stood strong and very resolute, and I was so proud of the team after the game yesterday. As of shooting, it is 2 o'clock, so the Arsenal game is on as we're shooting. So if you see us go a bit mental or look a bit down, it is because the Arsenal game is on and we've got it on the side here. So obviously we'll keep you up to date with any scores. I know this is going to go out a bit later, but let's get into the player ratings anyway, and let's start off with Hugo Lloris. Sim gives him an 8, I gave him a 7. And to be honest with Hugo Lloris, I mean, being at Anfield, for Anfield's sake, I mean, he was fairly untested, to be honest. There was that one early on where SESSEGNON nearly put it in his own net and he scrambled away to get it away. And I think he was limited to about 2 saves throughout the whole day. And Liverpool fairly hardly tested him, to be honest.
Yeah, we had the same amount of shots on target as they did. I think it was 3 each in the end. Diaz obviously made a good save from Diaz in the first half. Very good save from SESSEGNON. Other than that, I think the other shot on target was a simple one early in the game, which he went straight down his throat. Obviously, I think he was really good actually coming for crosses and stuff like that. I thought he was actually really commanding, more commanding than you expect of Hugo Lloris. And I thought he commanded the back really, really well. And I thought occasionally, you know, his distribution was actually decent for the goal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Played it to Emerson, and obviously that led to Spurs playing a good team move together. I thought he had a really good game, and I was really happy with him.
Times he caught a few crosses that relieved a bit of pressure off us as well.
Yeah.
So
big
up Hugo, a captain's display yesterday in goal, that's for sure. But I was surprised at how little he was actually tested yesterday. I really was.
Fair enough.
But let's move on to Cristian Romero. Sim gives him an 8, I gave him a 9, and I thought he was superb yesterday. A few down marks in terms of maybe the passing out the back a couple of times that left him found wanting a tiny bit, but for the most part I thought he was imperious. He was so aggressive, winning challenges time and time again, and obviously he did play it out the back quite successfully as well. Some good link-up play with Emerson and also KULUSEVSKI as well on that right-hand side, and I thought it was an unbelievable display from Romero yesterday.
Yeah, and Diaz obviously did get some joy, but I thought a lot of the time in one-on-one situations when he ever did beat Emerson, which was rarely, I thought Romero was there to sweep up. I thought heading as well, aerially, he was a lot more dominant than he had been. There was like great diving header clearance late in the game, which was brilliant. I thought he was fantastic. I think sometimes his distribution put us in a bit of trouble, but you know, Conte asked him to be brave, and that's exactly what he did. And I thought by and large, a very, very strong showing again from Romero in a very big game.
Yeah, and it was like that's what was giving me such a heart attack yesterday. Our passing out the back at times, especially in the first half. I mean, we were playing ourselves under pressure so many times, but the defence just stood up so strong, and he was a main part of that, which moves us on to Eric Dier in the middle of that back three. I gave him a 9, Sim gave him an 8, and I thought Dier as well stood up to the pressure that Liverpool gave. Aerially, I thought he was a beast. How many times did corners come in and he just headed it away? I mean, he was that central figure organising that back line. I thought he was brilliant, absolutely unbelievable yesterday.
Yeah, I thought he was. I thought clearance after clearance, unbelievable headers. I thought he was absolutely amazing, Eric Dier. They really couldn't beat him in the air. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. And how many crosses did Liverpool put into the box from Alexander-Arnold or Robertson and everyone, and it was just battered away every time from Eric Dier. He was so dominant in the air, and that was a big reason why we cluttered the centre, and then any cross that came in, Dier was dealing with it, and I thought it was another exceptional display.
Yeah, obviously just watching the Arsenal game
I can't believe what's just happened.
And Leeds have just made a terrible mistake at the back.
Meslier just got tackled.
Ayling passes it back to Meslier, and then Nketiah tackles Meslier
into the goal. What is he doing? Why do people just keep giving Arsenal goals anyway?
I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to Ben Davies. 9s all round from us, and this guy was on something yesterday. I mean,
man.
He was playing insane. The interceptions, the blocks. I mean, that block just before Liverpool scored from Mo Salah was like world class, and he was doing that time and time again throughout the game. He was a man on a mission yesterday, and I absolutely loved his display yesterday. I thought it was his best display of the season by far.
Yeah, I thought he was absolutely exceptional. He dealt with Mo Salah unbelievably well. The blocks he was making were unbelievable. Heroic stuff from Ben Davies, I thought, yesterday. For me, actually, I thought he might have been our strongest defender. I thought he was just positionally so perfect. I actually think as well, when he moved over to left wing-back late in the game, he was actually quite a big threat as well. He got forward quite well, got an on goal once and got a shot away as well. I thought defensively, though, up against Salah, he was absolutely amazing. You got to give him massive credit. So Ben Davies, what a performance.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's move on to Emerson Royale. And you know what, we give him a 9 each, and we slate him a lot, Emerson. So when he plays like this, it's only right to give him his dues. And he was our best player on the pitch yesterday, in my opinion. I mean, defensively, nobody got past him for pretty much the whole day. I think he was absolutely spot on defensively. And even going forward, I thought he provided a lot for us. I mean, he was playing pinpoint balls all day long, time and time again, and amazing like cross-field balls, which I've never seen from him before. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing with Emerson on the pitch yesterday. I mean, it was just an unbelievable display. It really was.
Yeah, all of a sudden he found his passing range in the perfect time to go away at Anfield and actually look comfortable on the ball and look like he'd spray a pass. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought confidence-wise, it was nothing like we'd ever seen from Emerson. Like, he was able to take people on. He was getting actually good crosses in the box. He was actually looking good on the ball. Defensively, I thought he was so strong. I thought he was dealing with Diaz fairly effectively, although Diaz did get some joy when he was cutting inside. He got a couple of shots away, but I thought Emerson was so strong down that right-hand side. And maybe this was the day that Emerson finally arrived at Tottenham, because I thought it was an excellent display. You've got to give him his dues.
Absolutely. Let's move on to Rodrigo Bentancur in the middle. 7s each from us. And I thought that at the beginning stages of the game, he struggled. He did get a shot off quite early on. But I think that he was losing the ball quite a few times in that first half. And I think he struggled to deal with maybe the pace of the game early on in that first half. But I did think that second half he grew into the game, helped us gain a bit of control when we were on top for that 10-15 minute period. But I thought ultimately it was a good game from him, and he grew into the game in the second half.
Yeah, I thought defensively he was fairly strong. I think on the ball he was getting caught in dangerous positions, but that was part of the game plan, I think. Not to get caught, but to play it short and to try and live with Liverpool's press. And I don't think he was able to do that effectively. A few times he was able to play it out, and when we did that, we looked dangerous. But too many times it was too easy to get the ball off him. That's the shame there. And I think a bit sloppy on the ball as well when he was making a few long range passes. But other than that, I thought he was defensively very solid, and he was making a lot of tackles, interceptions in the centre of the midfield, really helping breaking up play. And if it wasn't for him and Højbjerg in the middle, it would have been a lot easier for Liverpool to play through us. So I thought that he was excellent in that sense.
Yeah, agreed. Let's move on to Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. 8 for Sim, 9 for me. Again, a proper Viking display in the middle, shielding that back four to a very high degree, very high level. I thought he was at it throughout the whole game. Interceptions, blocks, tackles. I mean, he was non-stop running throughout the whole game. I mean, he put in such a shift for the team. He really did. And then that moment right at the end, all he had to do was get it to Harry Kane, and the game's won, to be honest. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. But that doesn't take away from his brilliant display, in my opinion.
Yeah, he couldn't.
Oh my God, 2-0.
He couldn't quite do it. Unfortunately, Højbjerg at the end, but I thought it was a absolutely fantastic display from Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. I thought he really dominated physically a lot of the time the centre. I think the first half there were times where he struggled, but once we were in the game and we were on not level pegging, but once we were kind of battling with them, I thought he did so well, and especially in the second half, I thought he really helped us progress up the pitch and get into really good areas. And I thought he'll be having a sleepless night over that missed chance right at the end, but I thought he was brilliant overall, and really good display again from Højbjerg, who's been so consistent lately.
Absolutely. Let's move on to Ryan SESSEGNON. Sim gives him an 8. I gave him a 7. I felt he struggled in the first half and struggled to get into the game. his passing, and he kept losing the ball quite a few times in that first half. But he did grow into the game, and I thought he was much, much better in that second half. Took a brilliant yellow card for the team when Mo Salah was on the charge, and I felt like he actually stood up well to Mo Salah for the most part of that second half, and obviously grabbed his assist as well with a lovely ball into Heung-min Son. So struggled in the first half, but I think he got to grips with it in the second half.
Yeah, and he looked to take on Trent Alexander-Arnold a few times as well, of winning a few corners, getting up the pitch really nicely. Obviously, really good assist, good composure to get it to Son on the open net. A few players might have taken a shot in that position where SESSEGNON was, and he did really well. Yeah, was. And I also thought defensively, I thought him and Davies really had Salah on lockdown. Salah wasn't getting any joy down that side, and it's the second time now he's really done a job on Mo Salah on that left-hand side. So really good stuff from Ryan SESSEGNON, and very, very positive for him after some poor displays of late.
Yeah. Let's move on to DEJAN KULUSEVSKI, 8s all round, and I felt he was our biggest attacking outlet throughout the game yesterday. How many times was EMERSON finding him or Romero finding him, and he was relieving us of the pressure, beating a man or two, and really starting the charge for Tottenham. I felt in the second half he did quite tire and drift out the game a little bit, but I thought he was absolutely brilliant in the term, especially in the first half when he was really relieving us of that pressure.
Yeah, and I thought he was doing really well to actually, when we did get the ball to him, wriggle out of really tight situations, make sure that we're not losing the ball immediately. Actually, a few times had the beating of Robertson as well on that side, and that was really, really impressive. But there were occasions where he did wriggle out and then was a bit wasteful. That was a bit of a shame, and maybe didn't do enough with the positions he created for himself. But I thought, by and large, he had a really strong showing again. He showed, even at Anfield, he's able to mix it with the best of them and hold the ball up and use his strength, and I thought he did really well in that aspect.
Yeah, he just seems unfazed by any situation, KULUSEVSKI, and for such a young age, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, he seems to always have confidence that he's going to have the beating of his man.
Yeah. Let's move on to Heung-min Son, 8s all round. Obviously got his goal at Anfield. Obviously it was an open net. I mean, couldn't have been much easier for him, to be honest. But I thought throughout the game, tireless running, always trying to make an option, doing a really good job team, sacrificing himself for the team in terms of all the running that he was doing. But it was hard for him because it was very rare that we got into Liverpool's, that we were able to spring on Liverpool really much, and I think that was credit to Liverpool how they stopped us really countering them on them quite a lot of the time in the game. But it was a hard day for Sonny, but credit to him for getting his goal, and he was tirelessly working. Yeah,
and he was probably our biggest threat on the counter. There was a few moments we got him quickly in space, but very quickly Liverpool were able to get 2-3 men around him, and he wasn't able to get much joy from that aspect. But obviously he did get the goal at the end of the day. It was a good run as well to make the space for SESSEGNON, and then obviously he didn't just admire his run. He went and got into the position to get it for the goal, and that's another goal for him. 20 non-penalty goals for him this season, 2 behind Salah because Salah didn't score. So definitely still in the running for Golden Boot. And I thought another really good display from Sonny, who was our biggest threat.
Yeah, and last but not least, Harry Kane, 7s all round. I mean, Liverpool did a really good job in shackling him yesterday. He struggled to get into the game, but I felt like when the ball did come to him, he did try and make stuff happen. But it was a fairly anonymous display from Harry Kane, to be honest. But he was in that moment, right place, right time. All Højbjerg needed to do was square the ball to him, and then the game is won. I think he was involved in our goal as well. But,
massively. Yeah.
But apart from that, there was nothing much in there from him, to be honest.
I thought he did great for the goal.
I
thought he brought the ball down really well from EMERSON, held off, I can't remember which, I think it was Alexander-Arnold, had the composure not to take the shot on when more often than not from that position you'd see Harry Kane shooting, found SESSEGNON in the right place on the left hand side, and obviously we got the goal. So I thought he was exceptional for that goal, and you've got to give him lots of credit for that. And it was difficult for him. He didn't quite have the joy that he did at the Etihad. I think Van Dijk and Konate were much more physical up against him. But a few times he was able to win a few headers and a few things, and he did his best, but it was a difficult day for him.
Yeah, which moves us last but not least on to Antonio Conte, 8 from Sim, 9 from me. And Klopp was bemoaning the Tottenham's game plan. in the game yesterday, and you got to say the game plan so nearly worked to perfection yesterday. Liverpool found it really hard to lay a glove on us, and that is down to the way Antonio has coached this team. We were a threat as well in the game, so to go to Anfield, put in a performance like that, you won't see many teams do that. And now we're the only team in the Premier League that haven't been defeated by Liverpool or Man City this season. So absolutely great stuff from Antonio. And this team is unrecognisable to what it was when Nuno was here. So absolutely brilliant stuff from Antonio.
And it's just more proof that when when we come up against the best teams, he has a way of playing, and his tactics definitely can mix it with the best. Now we've proven it on a consistent basis, and we were very, very unlucky yesterday not to win. I think draw is probably a fair result, but the chance we had at the end could have easily gone our way. And I think we had the better chances yesterday, and I thought we defended exceptionally. Conte set up the team very, very effectively, and as much as Klopp would have been frustrated, what does he expect us to do when Liverpool are the best team in England? We know if we go toe to toe with them, they're going to completely blow us away. So Conte did what he could, and I think it nearly worked, and it was an exceptional tactical display. But unfortunately, a deflection went against us, and we just couldn't get the win.
Yeah. All right.
And I actually think as well, quickly on his subs, people criticise his subs for bringing on Sanchez and Winks, but I actually think it helped us gain control of the game, because I think we were losing our way a bit, and then he made those 2 subs, and we actually nearly scored after that, and we actually gained control a bit.
I completely agree. And it was Winks' ball, wasn't it?
Yeah, Winks nearly got that assist,
So yeah, big up to Antonio, big up to the team yesterday. A massive shift was put in. As it stands, actually, Arsenal are currently 2-0 up in the opening 17 minutes at the Emirates. Let's hope for a massive turnaround, but it's not looking likely at the moment. But thank you everyone for watching our player ratings today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always,
Come on you Spurs.